welcome back to my garden. Today I'm out in the yard and I am planning to do a bit of cleanup, and I wanted to kind of take you along with some of the cleanup chores that I'm doing today in the garden. I am going to go around and just cut back my peonies and some phlox and sunflowers that are almost done, and I kind of wanted to show you the process and what I was doing to prep them for next year. So come along with me and spend a little bit of time in my garden with me to clean up and get ready for winter. So for cutting back peonies, I pretty much cut them right till the bottom of the plant. So I will probably leave about maybe like 4 or 5 inches from the ground, so I know where the shoots of the peony plant were. So about that much. So I've made this much of a cut all the way to that point and clean this up. This peony plant isn't very old. It's probably 3 years in the ground, and it's gave me some really beautiful peonies this summer and this spring, and I really enjoyed this plant. And I think next year it's probably gonna get thicker and bigger and do well, even better than what it did this year. So I think this one has kind of settled in here now, and it's doing well. So that's all there is to kind of remove this this foliage from here. And what I also have in this spot is this creeping kind of phlox, which I'm going to leave the way it is. I don't really do anything to it. It just starts to green up again in spring, so there isn't much to do there. And this is the phlox that I have, and I usually just like to cut this one back as well, and I use the same technique. I will probably take it down to the stalks and just cut this back right now, because it'll just make it easier next year to kind of come out here and you know, see the new growth and where this plant was. So that's all I'm doing to this plant is just cutting back any of the stalks. So that's pretty much all I do to this one as well. So yeah, that's it. And I'll show you what else I'm trimming. In the side yard here, I also have another phlox in the back there, which I am also going to clean up and cut back, just because it has a bunch of powdery mildew on it, and I kind of want to clean it up for the season. And I'm also going to trim back this a perennial hibiscus. It is kind of done, and I'm going to use the same technique, and I'm just going to leave a few inches above the ground and just cut the stalks back, so I kind of know where these plants are going to emerge next year. So that's what I'm going to do, and show you what this looks like. Here it is. I've removed the phlox and I've removed the perennial hibiscus, and I'm also going to most likely trim down these coneflowers, because all the flower heads, as you can see, have been completely eaten by the birds, and I don't have anything remaining there. So I'm just going to trim those back as well. These balloon flowers are a gorgeous color right now, so I think I'm going to just leave those for another week or two, and I'm going to try cleaning out the coneflowers here today and just in general get the garden bed ready for winter. So that's what I'm going to do. The bed is quite a bit cleaner than what it was. Like I said, I like doing this in bite-sized amounts. I'll come around and do a little bit of what I can, and there are still things that are blooming, so it's kind of nice to leave it in the ground and see how this changes over the next few weeks. And a lot of these I'm going to just leave them in the ground and not worry so much about them right now. But yeah, I've kind of cleaned out this section. This Eye of Tiger sumac is also kind of done, and I know that there are probably some lower branches that I will trim, which I might do uh, in spring next year. I'll see what happens to this. Like I can see that some of the branching here is kind of broken at the bottom, which is fine. I think it's going to produce new branching next year and get quite a bit taller than what it is. So just going to leave it as is for now and let it winter and do its thing. Going back on this side, I also have some false sunflowers, Heliopsis, which I'm going to also cut back because lots of seed heads on them, and I was actually thinking of saving some of these seed heads to kind of put them in other parts of my garden. So what I'm going to do is, I mean, the seed heads are very dry and kind of prime for picking, so I'm just going to cut the tops and I'm going to save them in a paper bag and keep them for next year if I want to start new plants in a different section of my garden. I really like these. I love the height on these as well, and the abundance of flowers. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to cut these, save the seeds, and then what I'm going to do is cut the branches to almost about 3-4 inches from the ground level. So that's what I'm gonna do for these. Here is my little helper who's chilling and relaxing and giving me company, which is really nice to have him in the garden with me and spend time with me. It's such a nice fall afternoon, and we're both chilling in the garden and cleaning up a little bit. Yeah, so it's a lovely day to come out here and attack some of the cleanup in bite-sized pieces and enjoy the garden at the same time. So that's what I'm gonna do today, is just do a little bit of cleanup, and I'll take you along. Hi buddy. This is what I really use to store these seeds. I'm gonna like cut off the seed heads of these fall sunflowers, and I'm gonna save it in this little paper bag, and they should be just fine in it. And if you shake the bag, it should kind of have a whole bunch of seeds in there ready to plant next year. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna cut them and save them in this paper bag. So here it is. I've saved the seeds in this paper bag. I got a bunch of seeds, and I'm pretty sure this plant has also self-seeded along the way. So I'm just gonna trim it back now, and I feel good that I have a little stash for later if I do wanna start these somewhere else. It'll be a good idea to save them. So save some of the seeds, echinacea, rudbeckia, sunflower, coneflowers. Like, you can save all those seeds and kind of plant them in other areas of your garden in spring, and or start them in pots, and you can start planting them wherever you want in your garden. It's a very good way to propagate more plants from your own garden, and that's what I like to do. And a lot of times these will self-seed and probably start new plants next year, which you can kind of dig out and move in another section of your garden as well. So that's what I'm going to do. I think these would probably self-seed here and create a bigger patch next year. We'll see. I'll keep an eye on this and see what it does. So I'm going to cut it back for now. I've saved the seeds, and I'm going to cut this one back as well. So there's nothing really here that I will be cutting back. The bobos, I'm going to leave them as is. And then the Pinky Winky, I love the color on it. I'm just going to leave it as is. And give them a little prune in spring. But everything else I'm just going to leave. Even the Semirific hibiscus that I planted, I'm going to cut them back only in spring, so I know where I planted these, and just let them die naturally here. The hostas are also changing a lovely fall color, so I'm gonna just enjoy them for another couple of weeks, and then I'll probably cut this one back as well. Yeah, so a lot of these are still okay. Nothing to cut back here, so I'm just gonna clean up some of these stems here. These are cornflower seeds. I could save them, but I think I'm gonna just cut these back. I have a ton of these in my garden, so I don't think I need any more of these for now. So I'm gonna just cut them back, or I might just leave it for the finches. I think they'll finish it off in the next couple of weeks. So I'll just leave this one for now. Yeah, doing good. Here here is a mess. A lot of leaves are falling, and the zinnias that I transplanted here are still blooming. I'm going to let them die, and I might just collect the seeds from these heads as well. Just gonna wait a little bit more time for this to dry out. So I'm out in the garden now on this side in the backyard, trying to save some more seeds. So I've kind of picked up more of these bags and labeled them. Just nothing formal. I just like to write on them what the seeds are, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to collect some echinacea coneflower mixed seeds. I love the colors on these coneflowers. They are a mix. So I'm going to save, there's a lot of seed heads that are dry, as you can see. I'm going to just save a few for next year. And also I have a Heliopsis bleeding hearts, which is new that I planted this year, that I'm also going to save a few seed heads because I really like that one, and I want to kind of propagate it and start more plants next year and from the seeds. So that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to continue cleaning, and I'll take you along as I progress. So I'm going to also prune these couple of peonies that I have in this bed as well, and then also trim back some of these dead rudbeckias, just because everything is dead. The seed, I've taken some seed heads and saved the seeds, so I'm going to just trim some of this stuff back so it can start to look a little bit cleaner in here. Nothing in particular, just wanted to come out here, and actually the main thing that I wanted to prune back were the peonies in this bed. So here it is. The peonies are all cleaned up and cut back, and I think that is the extent of the cleanup that I'm going to do today. And like I said, I love to do cleanup in the fall in small pieces, and really nice to do that and enjoy the weather and do a little bit. And I really don't feel the pressure to finish all of this in the fall, because I am quite excited in the spring to be out here and doing some work. So I'm very happy to kind of do cleanup at that point as well. Just really enjoying the garden as well as cleaning up and saving seeds today. And I just wanted to kind of show you the roses. I mean, they are just looking stunning. I just love how this Atlas rose is looking, and more of them are kind of opening up, and just love how this looks. And here is another pink one that is about to open. I think this is the Queen Elizabeth rose. Yeah, very excited to see this one open as well. Lots of roses still blooming in the garden, and quite enjoying them, and cleaning up where I can. And it's just such a nice time to be out in the garden. Moment of reflection, moment of anticipation for next year, and just excited to do the cleanup and save seeds and look forward to next season. So I hope everyone is enjoying their fall day. What are some of the things you love about fall cleanup? I mean, for me, it's really like putting these plants to sleep and looking forward to their return next year and thanking them for all their glory this year. So that's what I feel emotionally as I'm going through the garden and kind of cutting them back, saving the seeds. I say a little thank you to them every time I do that, because I know how much joy they bring me when they bloom and when they produce all the flowers and just leaves. Like I get very excited when I even see the green leaves in the fall and how they do. So really excited to share this time with you in the garden, and I hope you enjoyed following me along in this video and yeah, spending time with me in my garden. Thanks so much for watching. If you like this video, hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for more updates. More later. Thank you. To take a moment and pause and really appreciate the Sonorita rose. I mean, it is stunning. I'm just so excited to see this one bloom, because it's the first time I'm seeing multiple flowers on this. Just the colors are stunning. I love this orange, red, kind of yellow, peachy just reminds me of sunset, and it's just gorgeous. I love this rose so much. Just wanted to share this one with you.